Hey guys, Thomas Joseph here, and today I'm super excited to share with you some tips and tricks for vanilla. 10 years ago, there was only really one type of vanilla that you could buy at the supermarket, but today there are countless different varieties, different choices. I'm gonna teach you a little bit about vanilla and how you can substitute them if you need to. What is vanilla? Well, vanilla is actually this guy right here, this vanilla bean, is the green pod of the orchid plant. And what happens actually, they're picked about 6 to 9 months after the plant has been pollinated. And then it goes through a series of curing processes where the compounds or the flavorings within the vanilla bean are brought out and give it that signature flavor and also the color, because these start off as green pods. Now, during that process, you go from really well hydrated beans to something that's a little bit more dehydrated like this. So think about this. 3 to 5 pounds of vanilla bean pods that are green ultimately equal about 1 pound of these guys here. So a lot happens during that curing process. I have a bunch of different varieties of vanilla beans, and these are typically found in the marketplace, but you might be a little confused as to what the difference is other than the origin. What's the difference in flavor? So this is Madagascar vanilla here. I have extract and I have the beans in front of me. And Madagascar and Indonesia are actually the largest producers of vanilla beans, and they have the most vanillin flavor. Vanillin is the signature flavor compound in vanilla beans that gives it its signature flavor. So Madagascar vanilla, if you find it in the supermarket, pick it up because it really is a very good quality vanilla. Now, next to this, I have Mexican vanilla. And Mexican vanilla, it has a lot less. It's about half as much vanillin in it, so less of that flavor, but it has some other unique characteristics to it. It's been known to be considered a little bit smoky, a little bit winey or fruity, so slightly different flavors. And then here I have Tahitian vanilla, and Tahitian vanilla is actually a different species altogether. It has a lot less of that vanillin again, but it is known to have a more perfumed or flowery flavor to it. Now, when you're using vanilla beans, you want to make sure that you find in the supermarket the most plump vanilla beans possible. They should be supple, they shouldn't be dried at all or brittle or hard. And what you need to do is you need to split the vanilla bean down the length of the pod. So I like to use a paring knife here. Just split it like this, and then with the back of the knife, you want to make sure you're using the back of the knife so you don't kind of cut through the pod itself. You want to scrape up all of the thousands, millions maybe, of seeds here, and this is what you're going to use in your recipe. This gives that wonderful flavor. Now, vanilla, if you guys didn't know this, vanilla is the most popular flavoring out of all of the spices. It's actually the second most expensive. The first would be saffron. And what you can do, a little trick here, guys, if you have these pods, don't throw them away. You can certainly use them. I like to put them in a jar with a little bit of sugar, and that flavors the sugar here. And you can use this in any recipe where you see sugar, and you don't have to then add the vanilla that the recipe might call for. Really great. Now, vanilla, it comes in many different forms. I just showed you all of the beans and what to do with the beans, but extract is very, very popular and is used in a lot of recipes. So how do you interchange when your recipe calls for vanilla bean and you only have extract, or vice versa? Well, the vanilla bean is much stronger in flavor, so you don't need to use as much. So if your recipe calls for a teaspoon of vanilla extract, you only really need to use about 1/3 of the vanilla bean pod. And that's about, I would say, a 2-inch piece of vanilla. Now, if your recipe called for a whole vanilla bean and you only had extract, you need to use 3 times that. So you would need 3 teaspoons, that's a tablespoon, of vanilla extract in place of that. A new product on the market, which I really enjoy, is what is called vanilla bean paste. And that is actually extract that has been fortified with vanilla seeds. So it has a nice viscosity to it. That means that it's kind of thick and syrupy. And it has a really great flavor, and you can easily substitute this with vanilla extract. Just use an equal portion. Now, there's one more thing that I want to tell you guys about. I don't have it in front of me, and that is synthetic or artificial vanilla flavoring. try to avoid it and pick up a pure extract like one of the ones I have in front of me here. Vanilla flavoring that's artificial is just that. It's made of synthetic vanillin, so it's not real at all. It is typically and commonly sold in the United States. About actually 90% of the vanilla out there on the marketplace is artificial. So really look for the true vanillas, guys. So there you go, a little tutorial on vanilla. Hopefully I've helped you experiment with the different flavorings or the different origins that are out there in the marketplace. And if you have any kitchen conundrums, as always, guys, write to us using the hashtag kitchen conundrums or posting your photos. We'd love to hear from you.